Are you ready to rumble?
Oh, that's a different song. But it's always karaoke time around here.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Inside Scoopers, you made it.
This is episode 6.
I'm losing count, which I feel like is a good sign.
I
It's
know.
like,
We're
that's
just
a good
like,
feeling.
We're on the roll now. We're on the roll.
6? I can
think
only
so.
count using my fingers
I
still.
think so.
I was telling that to somebody the other day that I still have to count on my fingers. Like even if I'm counting and clicking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I have to move my fingers at the same time. Like I swear to God, no matter how old I am, I will be like
I
fingers.
count in like if I'm adding numbers, like okay, if I'm doing 6, I have to like envision like 4 dots, like 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, 2 in the middle, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Did you ever
It's
do
like
the,
a dice? It looks like a dice in my or die in my head.
What about like the math like little trick where it's like if times 9s, like the 9 times table where it's like 9 times 6, you put down your 6th finger and it's 54?
No. Do you use that?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
Tell me I'm not the only one who does that. I cannot be. I need to know. Okay, if you also do that trick, please send me
I don't do that.
a message so
But-
I know that I'm not alone in the world as a 31-year-old adult still
We're still
counting
all
two
counting on
math
our
tables on
fingers.
my
We're using our fingers and toes for counting.
I haven't gotten to the toes part, it's just like fingers, but then I just like go back to the top. Like when I was 9, 10, 11,
I do use my fingers to count sometimes. I
if
definitely
I'm doing really quick mental math.
like when you're playing a game and someone's like, "Oh, why don't you total up?" and you're like, okay,
Oh.
15 plus
Exactly.
7." Okay.
That's exactly the situation where I'm like my in-laws and that side of the family are very into dominoes.
Oh yeah, that's
And
a lot
it's
of-
like at the end you're counting up, you know,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
many
yeah.
dominoes you have left.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can get up into 100 or something. And so when I'm totaling those things, I'm like, the fingers are moving
Yeah.
really fast.
To be fair, we were very good with math in school. Math was like our favorite subject.
I mean, I feel like I'm still really good with like, doing long division or doing like I could still do that.
but sometimes you got to pull out a finger count.
Colin and I were doing a crossword the other day though, and it was like, what does this symbol mean? And it was like, I think it was an exclamation point, and it was something with like
That's like a function, isn't there? Something.
yeah, it was something like that. I can't even remember. I think it is the function.
If I haven't used it in my adult life, like probably didn't need to learn it unless I was like, going into engineering or
going to
whatever,
school for
but
music, I have not done a single math thing except for counting
Well,
in like compound rhythms.
There is math in music, but not any of the like
There ain't no calculus going on.
trigonometry. Like all right,
I know geometry going on.
but you need me to figure out a discount. Oh, I can do those maths. 20% of 575.
Okay, I will
Move the decimal
say-
point times by 2.
I feel like doing mental percentages should be something that everybody has to learn more because tipping, sales, like all of the time.
should definitely
All
you're
the time.
How much is the tip? Okay, move the decimal point over times by 2. Like that's 20%. I do
Oh,
that
yeah,
all the time. in my head.
100%,
Like, how much
100%.
are these shoes on sale?
It's always about the sales. I'm like, must calculate
How do we
what
get
the
on
savings
this? How do we
is.
get on this topic?
I don't know. That's a question that we ask each other a lot. We've like rambled and gotten to a point where like,
Where did this
how did
start?
we get here?
Can we undo the knot to
What
back to where it
happened?
started?
What thought connected that to this? And now we're talking about pineapple. Like what,
Monkey underpants.
monkey
yeah.
underpants. Yeah. Something crazy, but
Well, should we get into our ins and outs? Get back on track. Get the train back on track.
yes. Do you want to go first? You care?
I'll go first.
Okay.
My in of the week is something I just got. So I've been wanting to add a toner to my skincare routine. I love Korean skincare.
You said toner and I immediately thought like printing.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, when did you print
you
anything?
toner.
Okay, toner, skincare.
No, I
yes,
do not
I
have a
follow.
printer.
I follow.
For my skin toner. And I feel like having sensitive skin and dry skin, like Korean skincare is the moment.
Oh,
so
yeah.
one day I was like, I'm going to find a good toner. I like scrolled TikTok. Everybody was saying to get this. I think it's called I think the brand's called I'm From.
What are you kidding me?
It's called,
wait.
it's like the, it's like the rice. It's like a milky toner.
Dude, I just bought the same toner. Are you
serious?
I haven't tried it yet. I think it just came in like 2 days ago. Wait, it's the same. It's like in
It's
a cream
skinny little
bottle. Oh my God. This might be the most 20. I have not told you about that.
I think our brains are like wired.
That's crazy. Wait, but you've tried it. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, I tried it the past like 2 nights. I woke up and like even using like my tretinoin to like right now my skin is like dewy. Like it stays.
It looks really nice.
It like so what,
That's insane.
I'm not a skincare expert, but from what I was reading, that's hilarious that we're using the same.
Well, I haven't used it yet, but we bought this. We made the same
so
impulse
weird.
buy.
That's really weird of all the ones out there.
That's creepy.
It's like we're twins or something.
Either we're twins or something, or TikTok has this pin. Like, it's just
maybe
like
we both saw the same video.
go down the same rabbit hole. We probably did.
But from what my understanding, like toners help absorb the other products you're putting on. They help them be like more effective.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I think it can also work like by itself, but also helps
Sure.
be more effective. So, I'm like obviously struggle with a little bit of dry skin. So I was like, oh, I want a milky toner that's good for like sensitive dry skin that just gives them a little glow. So I'm loving
And
it.
you like it. Oh, that's good. That means, okay, I have
2
good,
days
good
and I'm
feels about the
like,
purchase then.
Oh my gosh. Like, do we? So
That's awesome.
100% recommend.
Okay, well now I know I'm gonna love it.
yeah.
It's like growing up, our mom would crack up because we'd be like, oh gosh, I like that shirt. Oh, here, put it on so I can see what it looks like.
Yeah,
And we
what
would
it looks
just
like on me. Put it on so I can
There's
see.
no mirror, that's fine. Just put it on so I can see what it looks like.
I need a mirror. I have a twin.
That is the top benefit of having a twin. You're like, oh, if you like it, I'm gonna like it.
It's gonna work on me.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
You like
the
those
most,
shoes?
The most vetted process ever.
You try it. I know I'm gonna like it.
I know I'm gonna like
so
it.
that's my end.
That is
I think
hilarious.
the brand is I'm From.
I'm from. Yeah.
And then it says
Rice.
milky toner. Rice toner.
I have their moisturizer, which is amazing. I'm totally on a Korean skincare
I mean,
kick.
it's good. So highly recommend. If anybody's looking for a toner.
Nice.
That one.
Okay, so my in is I think I have to say it's gonna be my like yogurt bowls.
You have
For
a
lunch?
yogurt kick. Yeah.
Okay, I swear I go down these like paths where
Hyperfixation.
I get a hyperfix. I mean, tell me you don't do that too. I mean, I feel like everybody has their hyperfixation, especially when it comes to like you're busy and you want like a quick meal. So
You're like,
this
it's quick, it does
winter,
the job.
this winter it was oatmeal. Like I had a process of I would make these kind of like higher protein oats and I would put like jam or I would do
Yum.
like almond butter, peanut butter, and that was my jam. Lame.
We're gonna creep out the list.
So that was that's just a minor peek into the puns that go on in my mind 100% of the time. So that was my obsession this winter, and now it has turned to yogurt bowls. Like the Faye yogurt, I swear to God, is like the thickest. It basically is like healthy ice cream to me. You know, like I mean, I'm still gonna eat the ice cream. Let's not kid ourselves, but it gives me that like nice creamy thickness, and then I load it up with that like Purely Elizabeth granola.
Okay, that has been on sale at Whole Foods, and I never buy it because it's so pricey. But they one time gave me a sample of the pumpkin, and I was like,
It is
"This is the best."
so good, and it's not super sweet.
flavor.
Very very natural.
I almost bought a bag today, like before coming.
I
here.
need that. In New York is the only place I can find that the pumpkin version.
I gotta get some. All right.
Highly recommend. So I put the Purely Elizabeth granola, honey that I get from my farmer's market, and whatever fruit I have like available. This week it was
Yum.
strawberries. Last week I got you to bring me the fruit from the
Yeah.
New York fruit
Yeah.
vendors. I forgot to ask you to do that this morning.
You're right. Yeah, this
I
was
thought
my
about it,
first-
forgot about it. That's okay. That's okay.
You're never gonna see me again. You'll never,
Never
have
will
the
see you
chance
again. Never will have fruit again. But that has been my obsession is like, you know, I think every day, you know, for the past like month and a half, minus being in Mexico, is just yogurt bowl. What am I going to have for lunch? Yogurt bowl, yogurt bowl. It's
You were really into weren't you doing the shaved peach? Was that yogurt bowl?
that was last year. Yeah.
was
So
yogurt
it's like
bowl.
I'm
I
sure a
never tried
bunch
that.
of you have tried this too, where it's like you freeze a peach and you like shave it. So you put it in your freezer, take it out, shave it with your cheese grater or whatever. And it's like a frozen ice, and then you
sounds
drizzle
so
honey
good.
and pistachios. That was like the combo.
Oh,
and I mean,
sounds
that
so
was
good.
elite. And I turned Mama Scoop onto it. I was telling
That's
everybody
right.
about it. I tried it with plums. That was pretty good.
On a hot day.
Peaches, mango. That was
Oh,
really
a
good.
mango.
But yeah, I think peach and mango were like the top
Peach and mango.
choices. Highly recommend if you haven't tried. I feel like that's been a fad that's now gone, like now past, but
Maybe it'll come back. You'll bring it back.
I'll bring it back. Yeah. So that's been my in for a good month and a half now.
I mean, that's a good end.
But especially once it turns warm, I'm like, I just want something, refreshing,
Yeah.
and kind of light, but has a lot of protein. I think it packs like 30 some grams of protein the way I do it.
Dang.
Sometimes I'll add some like powdered like PB2. Wow, I could go for one right now.
See, I've been doing like yogurt and then shredded coconut. And then I've been pureeing mangoes for my matchas. So for like a mango matcha. And then I'll put some of the puree in my yogurt. So it's like a tropical yogurt
Oh my God,
bowl.
that sounds amazing.
Really good. And I've also been on like a kiwi kick too. So
They were saying that kiwi, like, do you skin a kiwi when you eat it? Because they're saying that like
Yes.
you should eat it because it has like all the fiber in
I
the
know,
skin.
it's a little,
but
like,
I feel sort of
hairy.
just like, like
I've seen people eat it like apples. Sometimes
Yeah,
I do.
yeah. It kind of makes me like shiver just thinking about the little like
It's a little
pokies.
coarse.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Well, I'll have to find my fiber elsewhere. Is there fiber in ice cream?
Yeah. Yeah, sure there is.
Add some nuts in there or something.
Yeah.
What about your out?
My out is travel problems. Specifically
Travel problems.
canceled flights.
Oh.
So Andrew and I went to
Yeah.
Indiana to visit his family, which was really nice. Like we had a great time. But we were delayed leaving from New York. We flew out of Newark, which like
There's been so many issues.
yeah, so like the pilot came on when we were delayed. He was like, yeah, there's all these issues with Newark right now. Like we're down to one runway and something like less flight crew, or not flight crew, but like air control crew than normal.
Yeah.
So like they didn't have enough people. So they're like one runway so they can keep everything really controlled. So he was like, yeah, if you're flying in and out of Newark for the next while, like it's going to be like this. So just be warned and like maybe try and fly out of a different airport. I was like, okay,
Like,
this is
thanks
great.
for letting us know now.
So on our way back, it was like delayed. And then it was like, oh, actually, it's not going to be delayed. So then we like quickly hurried to the airport. Like, oh, I don't want to miss our flight. And then it was like pushed back another hour. And then it was not pushed back another hour. We're like, what's happening here? It just kept going back and forth, back and forth. And then all of a sudden it was like, canceled, you're done. So luckily we were close. Like we had family that
Yeah.
we could stay. And then we were like, yeah. And of course we flew Spirit. So
Well,
it was
that-
like, it was
Dare I
not-
say that's the beginning
no,
of
it was
the
not
end?
Spirit's fault. But
Our only other like insanely canceled flight story is from Spirit too.
yeah.
Remember when we were supposed to fly for Dad's birthday to Detroit?
that was
That
with
got canceled.
that was with that whole
That was with a big storm though, so I guess
no, but there was that whole crash of like the system that was affecting.
Oh no,
like,
that's what it was. Okay, so
everybody.
fine.
But
We'll
the
let
only
Spirit off the
problem
hook
was
this
like
time.
since we were flying Spirit, they didn't have like a flight the next day. It was like 2 days from now. It's like, okay, we kind of like got to get back. Andrew's got to work and whatever. So we ended up flying different airline to different New York airport.
Oh my god.
Because we were like, we're not going to risk the whole New York thing. Like when the pilots are warning you it's bad, it's probably bad. So we flew back to LaGuardia and it was totally fine. But like when you are like, okay, I'm going to the airport, and then you like, you spend an hour getting to the airport, and then you're waiting there for a couple hours, and then gets canceled, and then you have to fly, or then you have to drive back, and then redo the whole thing. You're like, I'm tired, like I'm
like-
dehydrated.
You're like at this point I would already have been there.
Yeah. You're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So it was a great visit. Like always happy to go see family. But travel's great when it's smooth, and when it's not, it's like, okay, this is annoying. Can we get some flu powder up in here? Like, can we just?
Yeah, like, just
yeah.
I always say that when
Indiana.
Colin and I are traveling. I'm like, can we just? I wish I could just appear. I wish I could just appear there and cut
that would
out
be-
the nonsense. But
All right, what's your
yeah,
out?
Well, I think my out this week is because we were looking at a bunch of pictures from like a couple summers ago recently. That some people are writing and they're like, oh, your hair looks so much lighter there. Like, oh, did you dye it darker or whatever? But Sarah and I went through a phase of like a lot of balayage, and so I think my out is balayage because I've been as like now, okay, it's summertime, I'm thinking, should I do it again? Should I like, because part of me feels like, oh, it's nice and light and it
Light
feels
for
kind
summer.
of summery. But I'm really in like my natural vibes era. Like I'm not, you know, like how everybody for a while was trying to like add freckles. And I felt like, yes, let the freckle girls like live in their natural vibes because I feel like everyone's like, oh, I gotta cover up my freckles or cover up my natural skin. And I'm like, I'm into the light makeup.
Yeah.
The you know, you've been getting into like wearing your hair natural too.
Should have done that today with the humidity. Honestly, I was like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm going to, and I'm like, girl, where's your hair? But yeah, I think I'm really liking my natural hair color, and I don't feel necessarily the need to do the balayage.
Yeah.
This year, I just feel like very content with it.
Keep it. I'm
You
like
know?
less maintenance. I think it's like
Yeah.
just easier routines. Like just I can get a trim if I want, but like you don't have to worry about retouching my highlights if I don't want to.
I don't have to have like a full face of makeup.
Yeah, I feel like
And,
right
like,
now the trend is simplicity, like almost French girl vibes, like a little tinted moisturizer, a little mascara, like
A little less is
hair
more.
in a clip, just natural waves, which is nice. It just takes the pressure off.
I'm like, where was that when we were, you know, 18, 19, 20?
Ugh, it was like how matte can I make my skin? How intensely can I do
Like
my eyeshadow?
nobody can know that I have any bag under my eye. Nobody can know that I
yeah,
don't
by
have.
doing like 10 layers of concealer, it's like making it look so much
Oh,
worse.
yeah.
I think that's funny because then when we look back at old pictures, I'm like, I look older here because I had so much makeup on.
and it kind of just like cakes and creases
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm in my natural girl
Your
era,
natural
and I'm like
era.
embracing my natural hair color.
I love it. I mean, it's a good color.
Yeah. So that's my out into my in. I feel like my outs are usually that way, where
Out
I'm
to
like
your
an out that highlights something that I'm enjoying.
There you go. Shall we dive into our question?
Yeah.
Of the week?
So, just like we were saying at the beginning, that we like everybody needs to know how to do a percentage, because they relate to all the sales that are going on, and I feel like that is so true. So we asked you guys this week if you ever really buy anything full price, specifically clothes. So like, how often do you buy clothes full price? And what do you think?
What was the option?
So options were rarely, some of the time, or often. How often do you buy clothes full price? I mean, you personally?
I personally am like a sale shopper.
Junkie.
Like, I mean, I also, because we're with our job, like we're looking at sales all the time. We know that stores are constantly having sales. Like I could probably tell you like, oh, this store usually has free shipping on Sundays. Oh, this store usually has sale Thursday through Monday. Like
It's like, man, if we were playing the stock market, we'd probably be rich at this
if
point.
I knew the stock market like I knew sales.
Exactly. That's what I mean. We'd have like we'd be like, oh, that's insider trading.
Yeah, but,
we have all the intel.
Unless it's Amazon, Walmart, or Quince, I usually only buy things sales unless it's like I need a special occasion dress. Like those
That's
don't usually
true.
go on sale.
Or you need it like, oh, this is just going to be the perfect last
Yeah.
piece for this ensemble, and I just like have to get it. And
like I'm
It's not
leaving
crazy
on a
expensive.
trip tomorrow, forgot that I need a jacket that goes with these outfits. Like I'm going out there and I'm getting whatever works. Like
that is hopefully
in a time
cost-friendly.
crunch,
Yeah.
I'll do full price. But then when I'm thinking of like Walmart, Amazon, Quince, like you already feel like you're getting a deal.
So you feel like you're already getting a sale.
Yeah, so I guess I feel like I rarely shop full price.
Yeah.
What about you?
I side with our followers.
Okay, what were the
Who-
results?
67% of you said rarely. Do you ever
okay.
buy things full price?
Okay.
Y'all are our peeps. 30% of you said some of the time.
Okay.
And 3% said often. Okay. We're budget ladies. Like we're out to get a good sale.
I mean, when I was teaching, and even when like I was about to graduate college, it was like go to DSW, go to clearance rack.
Close eyes while walking through the aisles to the clearance rack.
No, yeah, seriously, like straight to the clearance rack. It's April. get the boots for next fall that are 70%
Yeah,
off. Strategize. Yeah. And like if our job wasn't like sharing like what's new and what's current,
I would 100% still be doing
I'd
that.
be the clearance rack
yeah.
shopper.
Or like when
I mean, we also love a good thrift buy.
oh yeah.
We don't always share those on our socials just because like you can't get another one of them, like if we're sharing it.
For sure.
But we do like to share a lot of inspiration of like style combinations together. So if you are a thrift shopper,
That you
then you
could-
know what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Like I'm looking for a leather pant. I'm looking for a chocolate brown, whatever, you know. So we try and give you the
Exactly.
tools.
And some of your responses, like you gave us some good insight that one of you said that like stores build the sale price into their initial and secondary markups. So
Yeah.
they know the dates of the sales and know the initial markups are like 65 to 70% up. And so nothing is really a sale, especially in department
Right.
stores. She said that she worked there for like, 40 years. It just
Oh,
makes
I
you
believe
feel
that.
like a sale.
Yeah. Because they're like, this is the cost it is to make this item. We're going to charge this much. And then we'll have a sale, but we're still making.
Well, someone else is saying that they totally agree with you, like what you were saying about Quince or Amazon. They said paying full price feels wrong unless it's Amazon or Quince, like you're breaking some unspoken shopper code. Stores are always quote on sale, so full price now just feels like a placeholder. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, Abercrombie's gonna have a sale, and then sometimes they'll have a stackable code. It's like I'm not gonna buy it at full price because probably in 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I'll wait for that stackable code.
Yeah.
Because girls gotta have that. Girls gotta have that stackable code.
Yeah. Yeah. So I totally agree. And I feel like couponing and I feel like coupons aren't as much of a thing anymore because people don't get a physical paper or like kind of
Yeah.
not magazine, but
I
you
know
know,
what
you
you're
get
saying.
like the inserts and stuff.
But what about like, like your doesn't like Target have like the wallet and stuff? You
Right,
know,
but
like
now
you
it's like automatically applied. Like before you have to go in and kind of like
yeah. That's right. You
clip-
told me that the last
clip the
time
coupon,
because I
clip
was
the
like, how do I
coupon.
get this coupon?
Yeah,
it happens
I mean,
already.
literally, Sarah and I talk so much about sales and about how much things cost, especially her living in New York. That she's constantly saying, "Oh my gosh, I could get a turkey sandwich from this place for $15, but that place around the corner, bigger, $9.99. I'm gonna go there for my turkey sandwich."
You gotta be a little savvy when you're living in New York. Every little bit you save counts towards getting to do something fun. So
For sure. I mean, what do they say? Like the difference between saving, like having a big amount of savings at the end of the year is like $7 a day.
Oh, I know.
I think that every
about
time
that all the time.
that I make my little
So if you
unnecessary purchases.
I know my little impulse purchase, my little treat. It's like by the end of the year, you can save this much money if you don't spend. Like you can have a good amount of savings if you save $7 a day. Like don't spend $7 a day.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, then I need my little coffee.
But I do need my little treat every time I leave the house.
But every time
How
I
else am I
leave-
supposed to feel comforted when I'm
living
not
in
at
New
home?
York though, to go outside and not buy anything, I'm like, I need to get like my snacky or my little.
I mean, you pass by so many stores going anywhere.
I know, and I'm not a big spender like
Things
on
person.
fancy things, but I'm like, oh, I could go for a little, not even like a croissant all the time, but I'm like, ooh, I could go for a coconut water, and I'm like, go to the grocery because I'm passing grocery stores. I'm like, I could get a little snack. Oh, I wanted to try this, so don't remind me of that.
I do that too. Yeah.
Well, it's good to know that we're all savvy shoppers. A little, we're waiting for the sales. We're sale girlies.
Yeah. And I remember Mama Scoop, like she would pull out, she had a little accordion binder of her coupons.
Oh, yeah.
We would help her, clip those coupes every week before going to the grocery store. She would buy certain things that were on sale, wait and get some later that she knew she didn't need. Like Mama Scoop was
Is it coupon or coupon?
Okay, going to the East Coast, I started saying coupon, but in Michigan, I would always say coupon. Coupon.
It sounds like Q pie mayo.
Coupon.
A coupon. I definitely say coupon now, but I swear I used to say coupon. But
Oh,
coupon sounds so weird. to say
100%
right now.
said, the other day, I accidentally said pop instead of soda.
Pap.
And I was like, pap. I was like, whoa, the Michigan is like showing so hardcore.
Sometimes I can tell, like when you say something compared to me, since you haven't been in Michigan, you weren't in Michigan as long as me. Sometimes I'll say something and I'm like, whoa, It doesn't sound that Michigan in my head, but then when I hear it, sometimes I'm like, oh, snack.
I'd love a snack. Thanks. Yeah, our Michigan shows sometimes.
All right. We've got some good questions. So, and if you want to be featured, like, please continue to DM us on the Inside Scoop podcast Instagram page. We are loving getting your questions about everything: fashion, life, sisterhood,
All of
twinhood.
the above.
All right. Question number 1. Hi, love the podcast. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
I'm turning 27 this year and wanted to get some advice on how to make and maintain genuine friendships through my late 20s and into my 30s. I recently moved to Michigan. Michigan.
Michigan.
To represent.
You can also say pamp.
Pamp.
Use that. and Nobody
Snack.
will question your legitimacy of being there.
Can I have a plastic bag?
Bang.
Anyway,
There you go.
I digress.
We've just given you the keys to the kingdom.
Keys to Michigan.
Yeah.
Making friends. Be nasal. I recently moved to Michigan for work, and it has been hard to form long-lasting bonds since I've been here.
Oh.
Any advice?
That's it?
That's it.
Oh.
Any advice on making and maintaining genuine friendships throughout my late 20s and into my 30s?
Okay, I'm going to throw a term out there that somebody once used when they were talking with me, and I was like, this is so real. It's called aggressive friending. Okay, sounds violent, but it's not. So it's like if you are in a situation where maybe you're grabbing a cup of coffee or something and you start chatting to somebody else who's there, next to you, or maybe it's the barista, or maybe you're at an exercise class, in the morning, and there's one girl who you always kind of just like chit chat with. Instead of just saying, okay, like, have fun, see you next week, you aggressive friend. You seize the opportunity because you only see them here and there. So you just say, like, hey, I don't know that many people around here, and I feel like we really vibe. Like, would you want to grab a cup of coffee? Like, just
Put yourself out there.
just say,
Be the brave girl.
go for it, right? Like, just aggressive friend. Because honestly, like, it's easier in school when you're going to see everybody every single day and you're going to have the opportunity. It's like, well, maybe we should grab a coffee before class. Like, no, seize that opportunity. The person is going to be flattered. I mean, if I went to a workout class or something and the girl next to me on the treadmill at the end, she was like, oh, it was a great workout. I'd be like, it's always nice seeing you here. Like, would you want to grab a cup of coffee? Like, can I grab your number, or like add me on, Instagram or whatever? Like, how can you take insult from that? Maybe the most I could say is, oh, like, sorry, like, too busy, but you're still going to see them next Tuesday when you go to Barry's or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Barry's.
You know what I mean? So like aggressive friending, once you're not in a situation where you just see people constantly. I have used that, and honestly, even meeting some followers, like when I'm going to different cities, people have reached out to me and said, oh, like, this is my city. Oh, here's some recommendations. And if we're kind of bantering back and forth or talking, sometimes I'm just like, hey, like, would you want to meet up at one of those places and grab a coffee? Because I want him there by myself. I don't know anybody. And I'm just like, let's be friends.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And I haven't gotten to know yet, honestly.
It's true that, like, I think everybody wants someone else to, like, come to them and ask to hang out.
Yes.
Like, how flattering is that when somebody's like, oh my gosh, they like me enough that they're like, I want you as my friend.
Yeah,
where you're like-
exactly.
but to get in the mindset of, as you said, aggressive friending.
Aggressive
to be
friending.
like, I'm going to be the asker. I'm going to be the arranger. I'm going to be setting up these dates. Like, you got to, like, put yourself in that mindset because it can be tiring.
But like once you're in that mindset, you feel sort of like, it's like a high from just being like,
You've got the keys to the castle,
I have
right? Like,
the power.
You're in control.
I'm doing it. Exactly.
It's true. I think you said something else before too about like
Flow.
flow. Like, you feel so good in life when you feel you are in control of the flow. So when you're like, I'm going to ask, I'm going to go after what I want to be this person's friend. Want to grab a coffee with me after a workout class? I know we're sweaty. We'll get iced lattes. Like,
Yeah, it's the idea that people feel the most content in life when they feel that they have control over what's happening to them.
I love that.
So instead of
I mean,
being
it's
like,
so accurate. So accurate.
I think about that probably every day. That's my Roman Empire. Is that if I'm feeling like discontented with something, or if I'm feeling bored or whatever, I'm thinking like, oh wow, like I didn't get whatever, like, oh, I'm just waiting, waiting for, I think, okay, you know what? I can take this into my control and I can turn it into something, like I can do something about it.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling like I people don't want to be my friends. Like it's just not on my side that I have all these friends.
Yeah.
Turn it around to say, I'm going out there and I'm making friends.
It's true.
I have the power to make so many friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I bet if you had to think about it, you could probably come up with a list of like 5 people that you pass here and there.
Yeah.
Or maybe you see the same person at the coffee shop.
So they just started a new job.
So
So
you sit next to some, just be like, hey, I mean, I
want to
think
go to happy hour after
people
work.
really also respond to when you're letting in a little vulnerability.
Yeah.
So if you say, hey, like maybe this is too soon to ask. I know we don't know each other that well, but I really don't have any friends around here. And like, I think you seem so nice. I love chatting with you. Like, want to go? I saw there was a great happy hour around the corner. I want to grab a quick drink.
Yeah.
Or a snack or whatever,
Yeah.
Nobody, or if someone says, oh, yeah, you should hit that farmer's market on Sunday. Like, it's really nice. Be like, actually, would you want to meet up there? Like, I don't really know anybody.
Oh, if you
And
like
I
the
feel a little
market.
awkward about going by myself. Like, letting a hint
Definitely.
of vulnerability. And I think that goes a long way.
Definitely. And speaking on that, like sometimes like you might have some work friends, but it's hard. Like you said, you're in Michigan. It's not like you're in New York City where you're like, I leave my house and there's like 20 cafes all around me where I could just go in, be like, oh, I read that book. You see someone like, I read that book.
Yeah.
And then you start chatting. Like there are still those opportunities. Like go to a cafe, see if you can like make friends or get chatty. But I'm trying to think of like,
Well, I was going to say, I made one of my good friends in Minneapolis. Sarah was visiting me and we were just walking around about to do a photo shoot. And she stopped us and said, oh, like, are you guys taking pictures or something? And we were just like, oh yeah, we're bloggers and we, are taking some pictures. She's like, oh, what's your handle? I'll follow you. And we told her, she's like, wait, I already follow you. And so we just exchanged numbers. It was like, oh, we're in the same building. And now we're like good friends.
Yeah.
She's come to stay at my house. Like we're going on a trip later. And it's just sparks from a simple interaction.
yeah. And I think you might have said this before or in like a past episode about like how to change your husband's outfit or your partner's outfit. Like start with something like flattery. Like, oh, I really like your book. Or like, oh, I love that hair clip. Like, where'd you get that from? Or like, oh, cool. Well, I'm new to the area. So I'm like still trying to learn like where all the cool shops are. Like you can tell a little bit about yourself. Like you said, be vulnerable.
And that could be an easy, like even just be like, hey, like, can I add you on Instagram? Like, will you just shoot me some of those places that you
Yeah.
recommended? Because then you have their contact info. Then you can sit at home and plan how you want to say, hey, would you want to grab a coffee? You can type
Grab.
it out.
Backspace.
So that's even more
Have
of like
backspace.
a slightly
Yeah.
reserved
Yeah,
way
you
of doing
can
it. Like
do
take
it
a
on your own
baby
time.
step first. Oh, add me on Instagram. It's not like you're asking for their phone number.
Yeah.
Right?
There are a lot of
Or Snapchat, whatever the cool kids
a lot
are
of
doing
like
these days.
community groups too. Like if you're into running, like you could find a run club. Like I know on social media, like a TikTok is always like, oh, there's a event for runners here or there. And granted, like I said, I'm in New York, so there's a ton of social events
You
all the
do
time.
have.
But being in Michigan, like you said, farmers market, go to a coffee shop. But I know there have to be like meetup groups or even like a college alumni group, because I know like in New York there's a Michigan State like alumni group, and you could even meet up with like the alumni group.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, or if, like I said,
Or
if
literally,
if you live in an apartment building, you say hi to your neighbor when they leave the building, and like, oh hey,
Find somebody
oh.
with a dog, pet their dog, and then be like, hey, you
Better
seem
yet.
nice. Then aggressive friend.
Better yet, get a dog. Then everybody will want to be your friend.
Now we're talking. Now this is the type of strategy that we need in life.
Number
Yes,
one,
give yourself a dog.
Get dog.
Also
Number
works if
two,
you're looking for a partner. I mean,
Yeah, friends will come to you if
people
you have
will come
cute
to you if
dog.
you have cute animal. It's just math.
But it
That's the
is-
kind of math
That's kind of
that
what
we
we're
need to
talking
do
about.
in
Yeah.
school.
But it is hard to make friends as you get older. Like you said, it's like everybody, if you're not living in the city, especially, like you go to work, you go home, you relax, then you do the same thing again.
And oftentimes it's like in your car. Like you're not
Yeah.
even walking by people.
Yeah.
So
It's not even like you're on the subway and you're like, oh, I love your skirt. Where'd you get it? Or like, oh, I love that book. I've definitely gotten into good conversations with people on the subway. I'm like, I wouldn't be talking to you if I was driving around.
Remember there was that one guy who saw us and said like, are you twins? And we're like, yeah. And we just started chatting with him. And then we saw him like 2 weeks later. And he's like, hey, were you the people I was talking to on the subway? And we're like, yeah,
Like,
dude.
why do you recognize us
Yeah,
so well?
it was. It was. That was cool. But you know what I mean? Like first look at your closest group of people you spend the most time with, your work people. First reach out to somebody at your work because they're going to be closest. Then think, am I part of an exercise class?
Those are great places to meet
like a
people.
gym, a church. What other groups are you part of? And find ways to connect with people you already who circulate around you all the time.
Yeah. And
then if you're not,
you could volunteer somewhere.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Then if not, okay, then look for some opportunity. Like, okay, I will volunteer. I will go to this like mingle night at whatever. Like, but first and foremost, aggressive friending.
Yeah, aggressive friending. You have to get in that mindset of like, I'm going to make friends. Yeah. Friendship, go. Friendship, go.
1, 2, 3, friends. Question number 2. How do I choose between my sister and my best friend? What if they're the same person?
Why do we have to choose?
What do we have to choose? I'm getting married next year and want to start asking my bridesmaids to be in the wedding party. Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Bum, 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 bum.
I'm stuck between asking my older sister or my best friend to be my maid of honor. Oh, that's hard. My sister's also getting married next year and made me her maid of honor, so I feel like I should do the same for her.
Oh,
I love my sister
wedding.
so much, and I don't want to regret not making her my mo. But I also know my initial feeling was to give my best friend of 10 years that role.
Aw.
I plan on having 4 people stand up with me in total. It feels like cheating to have 2 mo's just because I can't make a choice. Okay, first I'll just say though, like, it's your wedding. You can do whatever you want. You can be like maid of honor, maid of honor.
I don't think it's cheating at all if you want to like have 2 people be your maids of honor. Like,
Literally,
it's your
there's no
wedding.
rule against it.
You also don't have to have a maid of honor. Like, you can just have bridesmaids if you don't want it to feel like
A tiered hierarchy. Like, we don't want to start Game of Throning and like hierarchy killing people off here.
Yeah, and you said this is like your older sister, so I mean, I would like to think she would be understanding.
Like,
If
have you
wanted-
talked to her about this?
Sounds like no.
I think if she asked you to be her maid of honor, she probably is also anticipating that you
Maybe.
might ask her. I mean, I don't know. Do we think that it would be weird for you to, like, it's not like you want to kill the surprise or anything, but I feel like if your first initial reaction was to have your best friend of 10 years, like, that's a long time, then maybe
and your sister probably understands that you guys have a really good relationship. Like, it's your older sister.
she knows, right? Like, she's been around.
She's like, oh yeah, Sally.
She's experienced
been
your best friend. So like, maybe just have an honest conversation with her and be like, I'm so excited to be your maid of honor. And honestly, I want you and my friend to be mine. Like, would you be okay if I chose her just because, like, we've been so close and like,
Yeah.
I know like it's a big honor and like I'm really stuck. But so I think some could be solved by just literally talking about it.
I mean, I feel like if you are close enough with your sister that she's asking you to be her maid of honor, you're probably in a spot where you can have like a good open conversation about stuff like this.
Yeah. Like, I don't think she's going to be upset.
No.
But if you do, I would seriously just go with the double
I would too. Like,
maid of honor option.
I was going to say, if your sister was already married, matron of honor, maid of honor, bing, done. But I don't know if her wedding is before or after yours.
Dude, that's a
So
great.
if she's getting married before you, matron
that
of
brain
honor.
in your head, that is
Meh.
amazing. No, that's a perfect thought. Because then you're like, matron of honor. Yes, you're
Matron.
married and wise and we shall live like your marriage. And then it's maid of honor. Everybody has their own title.
Yeah. If it works if she gets married before you.
But I feel like if she already asked, then she is getting married before you.
Probably. Unless she's like, bing, bang, boom, we're getting married at the courthouse next week.
That's, yeah,
No,
there
you're
could be
right.
a quick turnaround.
Or she could be like, we're planning this slowly. But that would be a really great solution.
I love that.
But again, I think it's your wedding. If you truly feel like I want them both to be my maids of honor, just ask them both. And just say like, oh, I really want you to be my maid of honor along with my sister. Like, you guys have both been like the biggest pillars in my life. Like, I would tell them when you ask that you want it to be like a shared role.
Yeah. And you could even just say openly, like, how can I choose between my sister
Yeah.
and my best friend? Like, and I just thought, I don't want to choose.
Yeah.
You both mean so much to me. I want it to be a shared thing. Like, I want you to
Definitely.
both have this big honor.
Definitely.
They probably know each other. They probably like each other. They can go together
if
on
you've
like
been
planning
friends
stuff.
for so long, I would guess that like your sister knows your best friend knows your sister,
Yeah.
or at least knows of them. And I think when you're a bride, it seems like every decision is like the biggest decision of your life. You're like, I don't know if they're just maid of honor or bridesmaid. Like, is this, you know,
Or like
and-
Archduchess of Pemberley. Like,
Yeah.
are you going to be the,
she's the
treasurer of honor?
like it seems like such a big deal, but it's really not.
so
So
sometimes the best decision is to not decide.
yeah, I think there's no shame in having them both. If you really want your best friend and you're like, I don't want my sister to be my maid of honor, then I don't think that's wrong either. Like, I don't think you're going to royally offend somebody either way, but just have some open communication.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you want your sister to be your maid of honor, talk to your best friend. Like, I love you so much. I'm so glad you're going to be in the wedding. You know, if they say yes,
Then be
which
like,
I can imagine. But
my
like,
sister asked me to be her maid of honor. I feel like I have to
Reciprocate.
Like I feel like I want to reciprocate that.
but like,
still
just
love
so you know, like, you're super important to me and the wedding.
exactly. And I think it's just being open about
Yeah.
that. Because we have a childhood best friend who we've known since we were literally like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And
Like twins, we have the same best friend.
we were a trio. Yeah. Still are.
Yes, still are.
But when like we were all, you know, we've known each other since we were 5. We've talked about weddings before, and we're always like, our sister will be our maid of honor.
Yeah.
And we're like,
I mean-
okay. But if we hadn't had that conversation,
Yeah.
that would have been like a very even tie of like, okay, my sister, my best friend.
I do feel like as a twin, people are like, yeah, she's going to be your maid of honor. Like, it goes without saying a little bit as
Yeah,
a twin.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
like, she's your twin. Yeah. I'm not planning on having the Mo seat here. But if you were like, I really want so-and-so to be my maid of honor, you just be my bridesmaid, I'd be like, okay.
But that's what I'm saying is
twins,
like
so-
her sister could feel that way too. Like they could be really close and she
That's
could be
true.
like,
That's
oh,
true.
So
If
if it
you're
was
torn,
me,
just
if
do
it was
both.
me, I would do both. If you're torn, just do both. Matron of honor, maid of honor.
That would
Chef's
work
kiss.
out. That would work out perfectly.
Chef's kiss.
Well, good luck and congratulations. All right, last question. What are your thoughts about traveling internationally with a new friend?
Oh, I thought you were going to say with a newborn.
With a new what?
With a newborn. And I was like,
Oh, with a
girl, I do
newborn.
not have experience with that.
No
I cannot even
experience.
begin.
Sounds stressful.
With a new friend. Okay.
What are your thoughts about traveling internationally with a new friend? I started a new job back in January and have become good friends with one of my coworkers. She and I are both in our late 20s, single, and get along really well. Work friend. This is what the first girl needs.
Yeah,
A
get
work
yourself to
bestie.
know this girl. She's going to help you strategize.
I mentioned to her that I was thinking of going to Paris in the fall, and she got excited and suggested we go together.
Oh.
It's really nice. She's
I love
like
that.
she's like aggressive friend. She's like,
She's
"Let's go to
aggressive
Paris
and she's like,
together."
hey girl, you mentioned Paris. Let's do it.
I've booked the hotel. You're
Yeah.
go.
She just like casually shares like an itinerary, like in case.
The Google Doc that's like 3 pages long.
She's like, I've done the footwork for
Monday,
you.
Tuesday. I've only ever gone on big trips with my family or solo, so I'm not sure whether to say yes or no. We go out to dinner a few times a month with other coworkers, so we have spent time out of work together, but we are still relatively new friends.
Yeah.
What would you do? International travels with new friends.
That is tricky because it's like, I mean, it depends also on how long you're going to be there.
Yeah.
Like, are you staying in the same hotel room?
Yeah.
Do you have your own rooms? Is it an Airbnb where you have like common space,
but individual space as well?
which I think might be ideal? So, if
So-
you're both are single, it also depends on like if anyone's looking to,
Mingle.
mingle.
Like, is your friend, you said you've like gone out, are they the kind of person that like mesh with your schedule? Because I think that's the hardest part of traveling with a friend, even if it's like a decent friend, because your schedules, especially if it's just you two, like you're probably going to end up for safety reasons internationally, like doing a lot of
but
things.
she said that she's traveled by herself.
That's true. That's true. But when you're
And it's
traveling,
Paris.
I know, but when you're traveling as a duo, it's often like we're doing everything together. If you've signed up to go on a trip with somebody, you're kind of signing up to do
To do stuff together.
everything together. You're not like, all right,
See you,
peace.
Evelina.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
out and see the Eiffel Tower. get
Yeah,
back
they're
safe
gonna be
tonight.
like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah,
You know,
blah."
like you think that you're kind of going to be coordinating everything. So for me personally, my rule is no international travel with people that I are not like lifelong friends. Like that's my personal rule because at least unless it's like someone that I like know really, really, really well, because you never know, like they might be a night owl or they might be someone that wants to go out and party the
true.
whole time. And then you're going to be like, okay, well, I go to bed at 10 and this is not so great. So it depends. Like I would hope that
That's
if you're
your rule, though.
that's my opinion. If you, I would say if you're kind of like, this would be really fun, maybe like try and do a few more one-on-one hangouts. That's not just like with a group of coworkers out to eat.
Because it sounds like the thought has been thrown out there in the offer, and maybe you've talked a little bit more about it in detail, but you haven't like fully bought the tickets, like you haven't fully booked the place.
Yeah, it's like it's
That's
an
what it
idea
sounds like.
that's out there, but it's not finalized. So I would say maybe be like, oh, like why don't you come over and we'll spend like the day
Yeah.
together on Saturday? Like, see, can you hang out for like a whole day together? Because you're gonna have so much together time if you're traveling together
That's
internationally.
true.
Like morning,
like
noon,
like
night.
just you and her at one of your places, maybe.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
see like.
What are they clean? I mean, you're not like you're not being creepy, but just like
Yeah.
what's the vibe here? Like, am I gonna be? Is this gonna be? Are we gonna mesh?
I guess
Is this gonna be
I will
good?
say too. So like putting that out. So say it's kind of like determined that you're going to go together. I think there are steps that you can, because that's something that I've kind of had people offer or sort of like suggest in the past. And I'm honestly, I'm sometimes kind of like, you know what, that could be really fun. And like, I kind of want to just be spontaneous and accept it or, you know, put the offer out there. So in that scenario, I think definitely make sure you have your own room.
Yeah, I would
Like do an
say
Airbnb where you
your
have a
own
separate room. Don't do a hotel where you literally are waking up next to each other. You get like every single second, because I think the success to traveling duo with someone when you're used to doing solo and you don't maybe know them that well is be very clear with what you want.
Yeah.
Even if you know, so saying like, okay, maybe you know that she likes to sleep in or whatever and you're a morning person, be clear with what you want. Just outline your plan of saying,
Yeah.
I'm a morning person, so in the morning I'm gonna get up and go on a walk and grab a croissant. Okay, like if you want to join me, like let's do that. Otherwise I'll be back and let's meet up at 11.
Yeah.
Come up with plans of when you're going to meet up.
Yeah.
And when you, but don't sacrifice something that you want to do just to
No.
kind of like appease her.
Definitely not. And if you're on the fence, if you're like, I like this person, I feel like I need more time to get to know them better before I commit to like a big trip, I would say
Also, no shame in saying that.
I would say like don't do it. Like maybe start with like a girls' weekend away.
Go to like Nashville
Like,
for a
go to
weekend.
Nashville or
go
like
to Charleston.
yeah, before you like commit to a huge international trip.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I mean, it's like you said, you've traveled on your own in the past. So it sounds like you know how to kind of like create an itinerary that you like and all that stuff. So yeah, I think if you do go the way of the friend trip, make sure that you're getting all those things that you want. And something that we did on a recent friend trip, we have also known this girl since college. So like, you know, also a longtime friend. But before we went, we came up with a shared list of like top 2 or 3 things that we wanted to do on the trip. So we knew that we were at least, if we were sort of compromising,
We were all going to get to do the things that we really wanted to do.
yeah. So hers was like, I want to go out dancing one night, which I don't think would not have been on Sarah and my list.
No, but it was great. It was
But
really fun.
that we did it, and it ended up being one of the most fun nights ever.
it was so much fun.
I wanted to go to a speakeasy. This was also in Paris. I wanted to go to a speakeasy, which we ended up doing, and that was very cool.
And I think I wanted to go to like the crypts, like the
catacombs?
The catacombs.
Yes.
That was so
and
cool.
honestly, there were certain things I think that had we gone by ourselves, we wouldn't have hit.
Mm-hmm.
But because we kind of went outside of our comfort zone, helping the other person accomplish what they really wanted,
Mm-hmm.
it was really cool experiences that like felt very well rounded.
Definitely. So,
So-
I think it could go either way. Like I would suggest
definitely if you haven't bought those tickets, do some one-on-one hangouts.
one-on-one hangouts. See if you're vibing. And I don't think there's anything wrong with like talking to the person and just being like, you know, when I travel, like this is the kind of things I like to do, like be very open and like this is what I like to do when I travel. What do you like to do when you travel? Have you been to Paris before? Like,
Do you like to eat out? Do you
yeah.
do you walk places? Do you want to Uber everywhere? Because
Like
that
it's
for me
okay
would
to
be,
have those conversations
Yeah,
before you
yeah.
commit to a trip with somebody.
It's a big that's a big trip.
I would probably start with a girls' weekend away and be like, oh, maybe next time. But
Work
like,
your way up.
Yeah, or be like, oh, I already have so much booked, and I'm like meeting up with some friends that I know.
I mean,
like
think about it in like romantic relationship terms too. It's like
yeah.
you generally do the little weekend away before you're like taking big trips or like doing family vacations or things like that
Yeah.
too. So it's like if you haven't bought the tickets yet and all that stuff, start small.
Start small.
I mean, it could
But
be
it's
so
nice.
fun.
It's so nice that she's like, let's do it, girls' weekend or girl time, Paris. I'm so up for it. Like she likes you enough to be like,
Exactly, which is a huge
I
compliment.
would commit to going international with
And
you.
yeah, so
good luck.
there's a lot of options.
A lot
It
of
could be
options.
Insanely awesome.
I don't think it's going to ruin anything if you're like, oh, you know what? Like, I've already kind of like planned on doing this trip by myself, but what if we do a girls' weekend away? Like, I
Yeah.
don't think you're going to royally
She's not crazy. She
offend.
knows it's a big trip.
Yeah.
Like it's a big event,
Yeah,
right?
so
like,
I don't think it would royally offend if you decide to do it by yourself. If you do decide to go with her, be prepared that the trip might go differently than you have planned in your head, but it could also be the chance to like make a friend of a lifetime.
Yeah,
and be
and-
like, remember when we were in Paris together?
Yes.
We were so new friends.
and just make sure that you're still doing the trip that you want.
Yes.
Without sacrificing. Like there might be some compromise, but don't sacrifice everything to appease her.
Definitely. But Paris in the fall.
Paris.
Paris holds the key to your heart. What? That's from Anastasia. isn't it?
Anastasia. Okay, if you have not seen Anastasia the movie or musical, go
see-
check it
go
out
see
right now. And on that note,
On that note, thank you for tuning in to today's episode.
what do we say? 6?
Episode 6, I believe. If you want to be featured in our next episode, make sure to DM your questions, anything you're looking for advice on, to the Inside Scoop podcast on Instagram. We'll be checking our DMs every week for questions.
And we will answer all those hot questions.
yes,
on the next episode.
We're looking for all your questions, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Goofies.
Bye.